I just had I just had a buddy of mine reach out to me as I am road tripping down to Medford. So I'm on the road. Got two little nieces that I love very much, and I haven't seen in a while. And it's a Wednesday, and I just said, you know what, kids, I'm going to be picking you up from school and going to hang out with Uncle John for a bit before I drive 4 hours back home into Newburgh. So I'm on the road, got plenty of time to think, and of course, plenty of time to talk. Okay, so here's the deal. So, buddy of mine he's out. He says, "Hey, I've got a house that I'm selling to somebody that's in my network, in my sphere, and he wants to do an owner hold. He wants me to carry some of the mortgage." It's like, oh, okay. And I've never done it before, and I don't understand at all how this works. And help me out. It's like, you got the right guy. So here's a couple of things that you got to think about when you do an owner hold. And the first thing to think about is any type of owner hold, you're dealing with big money. You're not dealing with a renter where you've got, maybe $1,000, $2,000 a month transfer. You're dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars. And when hundreds of thousands of dollars go south, you can lose an absolute huge amount of money. So while most mini rental type situations, you might be able to get away with a handshake deal. And if it goes south, you can go through an eviction process and you lose $1,000, $5,000, maybe $10,000. If you mess up an owner hold, and for whatever reason the buyer backs out and doesn't buy, you're out of hundreds plus thousands of dollars. Okay. So that's the first thing to realize and when you're dealing with big money, you need to be extra careful. And you need to make sure that you're getting a good advice. Right now, the advice from me is free advice. It's one dude, it's one talking head on the internet, and I'm giving you free advice. The advice that you need when dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars is advice that's not free, that you're going to have to probably pay for, and it's not going to be cheap. Lawyers aren't cheap. Title attorneys are not cheap. Good realtors aren't cheap. So if you're dealing with that large of amount of money, you need to invest a little bit of money in getting good advice and good counsel and getting this set up legally and properly. Okay, legally and properly. How is that going to work? So the way that these generally work, and I've done probably at least 10 of these owner hold deals, is the buyer and seller, the first thing the buyer and seller need to do is come up with the terms of the agreement. And that would be something to the effect that the seller will hold however amount of the loan, will hold 100,000, 100,000, whatever, of the loan for how long, 1 month, 1 year, 10 years, whatever. And then at what interest rate, and then how that payoff is going to be. So, for example, a very typical agreement would be Mr. Seller will hold 100,000 of the loan. He will receive payment. He will receive an interest payment at 1% a month for, we'll say, for 24 months. And then the remainder of the loan will be paid off at 24 months. If in the event the loan is not paid after 24 months, a 2% of the principal amount penalty will be assessed, and interest rate will now be 1.5%. Something like that. Okay. There was a cop that just drove by, maybe going a little fast. Okay. So that's how you'd set it up. And then you would take that information and you would write that into a promissory note. So the promissory note is simply the promise between you and the both parties, the buyer and the seller. Okay, so you got your promissory note. Great. Okay, then the next thing that you do is you can either do this yourself or maybe have a title attorney write this up for you. You then take that promissory note and you turn it into a trust deed, okay, which is very similar to a mortgage that would now get written into the title. Okay, so you get that trust deed, and then when you go to close, you tell the title company,